Hello and welcome to part 4 of Let's Play Stellaris with the United Nations of Humanity. I'm PMC317 and in this episode, the next hour, I'll be playing and hopefully trying to fend off the attentions of the Zaplo Annihilators to the west and grow the space and territory that the United Nations of Humanity has. So just a quick recap. In the last episode we encountered our first two alien species, the Dar Nexus, who are robots, and the Sutharian interplanetary hegemony, which is now shattered because of its war with a unidentified, or at least undiscovered, race which we know as the Zaplo Annihilators. We've also managed to uncover 5 of the 6 artifacts required to locate the Irasian Concordat homeworld, and we've begun the process of expanding our fleet so that it can potentially stop or slow down the Annihilators when they do inevitably come for us. Without any further ado, let's plunge straight in. So, Earth is building gene clinics and has 2 districts spare. Eden is not building anything at the moment, but has 7 districts spare and 3 covered. Actually 4 covered. So I think what we'll do with Eden is we'll... here we go. End of the Sutharian interplanetary hegemony. The star nation formerly known as the Sutharian interplanetary hegemony has been destroyed by its enemies. How this will affect the political climate of the galaxy remains to be seen. Okay. So we're going to put some more agriculture districts into Eden, and 2 more city districts. Elysia, meanwhile, is still building through its districts, and our star bases are being well, Sirius Station, which is over here, is constructing the Off-World Trading Company, and Sol Station is our one and only shipyard at the moment.
Construction complete.
Purified world. It is immediately apparent that Hishma 3, an ancient Irasian colony, has been the victim of extensive orbital bombardment. Large craters are still visible from space where the planet's major population centres used to be roughly 1.2 million years ago. A handful of survivors from the initial bombardment appear to have succumbed shortly afterwards to the Javorian pox that was then ravaging most Irasian worlds. Remarkable. Issue special project, Bombarded Colony.
Situation log updated.
Go to. Okay, so again the Equinox is going to finish surveying that system before it goes and looks at the colony.
System survey complete.
Right. I appear to be experiencing a slight problem in that my game is not allowing me to enter systems. So if you'll bear with me, I'll try and fix that. Okay, good. So now the game is actually allowing me to zoom in, so that's excellent. So what we're going to do next is we're going to upgrade the starbase here to a starport, the outpost to a starport, which will allow me to put some defences onto it. We're also going to hopefully be able to get some new alloy foundries produced on one of our worlds, which will increase the amount of alloys we've got. Otherwise we're going to have to start buying some, which will be problematic. Right, let's crack on. So the Noble is going to survey this system. Minimise that starbase, we don't need it. They're making things, that's the fleet there. I'm not pushing anybody out this way because I don't want to trigger the Zaplo annihilators and to let them find me. Let them find us, rather. Right. Who is being elected? Hasagawa, who's the current leader. David Payne. Schultz, he was a leader once. And Camilla Saldana. Okay. Well, a couple of months and then we'll have the elections. Good luck to them. Right. I'm going to push the speed up a little bit as well. I'm quite pleased that the Darnexus are so friendly to us.
Construction complete.
Klaus Schultz has been re-elected, I suppose. He was first citizen a while ago. Consult the situation log for details on their mandate. As per our first citizen's mandate, our planetary districts have expanded and we gained 200 unity. Right, so what does Schultz want to do? Alloy metallurgy. Plus 12 a month. Yes, I think that's something we want to achieve as well. Main issue with that is going to be trying to increase population growth on our planets, as we discovered last time. And Soletta has levelled up. Right.
Research complete.
What have we finished here? Blue lasers. Excellent. Fusion reactors, improved deflectors, research speed. Given the military situation, I think we're going to go for improved deflectors. And we are also going to put blue lasers on the relevant ships. So the level 2 gear is better than what we had, but it's not the best thing. I'm hoping, really hoping, that the Zaplo annihilators aren't anything like as dangerous as I fear. I suspect that's going to be horribly misplaced. Right, we're going to build or design some defence platforms. Generally speaking, there's only a couple of different types of defence platforms that are worth building. Point defence stations are important. I used to go for this thing where I'd have one or two of each type, but actually it's much better to just have several of a couple. So light stations aren't really necessary. The important ones are point defence, heavy and medium, in my experience anyway. And what I try and do is balance the weapons types on them. I'm sure somebody will in the comments tell me why this is wrong and a better way of doing it. Please do. I'm always up for learning new tricks. But in the meantime, we're going to make do with heavy, medium and point defence. You'll see that I'm putting reactor boosters on. This is because it increases the damage output, and that is actually quite important for the defence stations. Right, so we've got light, point defence, heavy and medium. The light design, I'm not going to keep that. It's point defence, heavy and medium, that's what we're after really. Okay, fairly soon we'll be able to actually make upgrade the outpost. It's quite a long trip back for First Fleet to upgrade, but I think it's worth them doing it, so let's go and do that.
Anomaly found.
Ah. Pith 301. There is significant scarring on the surface of this world in a pattern that cannot be natural. From orbit, the massive rifts look almost like writing. Let's see what it is. And we'll upgrade the starport as well.
System survey complete.
Hishma has been fully surveyed. Okay, so they're now going to go and look at the artifact, which is excellent. Speaking of artifacts, how many have we got now? Researching through. Have two, researching one. Alien writing. Someone used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing into the surface of Pythria 1. The massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper hemisphere and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. Fascinating. This adds +3 society research to Pythria, specifically Pythria 1, which is over here. Now, I wanted to be able to build a starbase here, but we're lacking 55 alloy. I think that's actually just as important as securing this frontier, so I'm going to make that my next priority. I'm just really hoping that the Zaplo don't push up this way. Encounter in Rivak. This may have been me speaking far too soon. We have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Rivak system. These strange objects have been flagged as Epsilon aliens until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Interesting. Let's have a look. Where is the strange alien vessel? Well, that looks like them. 8 months, and then we'll know for certain. Good job I sent the fleet back, I suppose. Irasian mining base. A series of deep boreholes on the surface of Juracus 7 are all that remain of the Irasian mining operation that was active on this world some 1.2 million years ago. The UNHS Darwin has conducted a thorough surface scan, but we have yet to find the remains of any actual mining facilities. Peculiar. Special project, mining base. And we'll do that one as well. Again, we're going to survey the system first.
Construction complete.
Excellent. Okay, we'll move to there. Build our starbase over here. And soon that will upgrade, and then we can put weapons on it. And a crew quarters, and we can station... what's this? A battered fleet of small civilian vessels carrying gyroids fleeing from the Epsilon aliens have arrived in our space. After we supplied them with food and provided medical attention to their wounded, the refugees were allowed to settle on Earth. These ragged and frightened refugees are survivors from the extermination program being carried out by the Zaplo authorities against their species. They only made it out thanks to the efforts of a hastily organised underground railroad and a few sympathetic merchant skippers. They are welcome here. They are indeed welcome here. So now we've got some new species, or a new species. They have full citizenship, and let's have a look. So they are non-adaptive, so minus 10% habitability. They have slow learners, they're communal, so the population housing usage is minus 10%. They're serviles, so they can't generate leaders, can't be employed in ruler or specialist jobs, but they are plus 10% happiness and plus 10% resources from jobs. And they're very strong, so they'd be good soldiers. And they like continental worlds, so that's good, so they fit in nicely with us. And if we go to Earth, population, you see that we now have 2% of the population is gyroid. 1 pop. So that's interesting. I wonder if we'll get any Sitharians.
Special project complete.
Our archaeological expedition has recovered a communications log from the ruins of a listening post on Hishma 3. It shows the contents of a transmission between the commander of an Irasian fleet in orbit and their naval headquarters on Irasia. The commander questions orders to purge the colony of all life to prevent the spreading of the pox. Although the log ends before the issue is resolved, the orders were evidently carried out. An interesting find. Gets us an extra Irasian artifact and increases our physics research. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 recovered.
System survey complete.
What's this? Right, Pythria has been completed. Let's go over here. And Hishma has been completed, so we'll go and survey that system there. I just want to check the situation log. Yes, we've recovered 3 artifacts. Bombarded colony, orbital station, derelict cruiser. We've got the mining base, there's the next one. Okay. I'm very worried about the Zaplo. Very worried.
Construction complete.
I wonder if it might not be better to keep the fleet back there. Okay, well we've successfully cut off the Dar Nexus anyway. Let's have a look at our traditions. So the next one available to us is Science Division, which increases the number of science and medical officers, creating a Science Division. So this increases our research alternatives by 1, so instead now of having 3 we'll get 4 each time we finish a technology, and our scientists cap out at an extra 2 levels higher. Yes, we do want that. So if we look here, the skill level is now out of 7 instead of 5, which is very useful.
Anomaly found.
We are picking up life signs coming from somewhere within the interior of this asteroid, M4863. This definitely warrants a closer investigation. Then do so.
Construction complete.
Okay, good. Now, I think it might be worth putting a shipyard on here. Because then we can station the first fleet and upgrade as necessary. So, a shipyard for now. And in fact I'm going to get the first fleet, poor beggars, to turn around and go back to Revac, and they can upgrade at Revac.
They can talk, and they want to talk to us.
Uh-oh. Oh dear. This is extremely very bad. After successfully translating their language, we have established communications with the Zaplo Annihilators. Diplomatic channels are now open, and all hostilities have been terminated. Excellent. First contact with the Zaplo Annihilators. Quake in fear, alien scum, for your doom approaches. The Zaplo Annihilators will cleanse this galaxy of every misbegotten xeno-civilization that pollutes it with their presence. Earth shall burn. Cheerful. How should we respond? Okay. Well, I speak on behalf of the people of the United Nations. Natural wormhole. We have detected what appears to be a naturally occurring subspace phenomenon on the edge of the Bradham system. Not sure what that is. A rift in the very fabric of space-time has formed here, creating a wormhole that, our scientists speculate, may provide a conduit through subspace to another wormhole located somewhere else in our galaxy. Depending on where the second wormhole is located, this could potentially allow ships to travel from one end of the galaxy to the other in a matter of days. Unfortunately, this wormhole, like the vast majority of its kind, is inherently unstable. Any vessels foolish enough to pass through it would be ripped apart in seconds. But if it could somehow be stabilised... Right. Where is Bradham? And... Huh. Bradham. Maybe it's over here somewhere. Oh yeah, there we go. That's it. Bradham. You can see it. This is terrifying. They are enormous. They're much bigger than the Dar Nexus. Much bigger than us. Overwhelming fleet power, equivalent technology level, and economic power overwhelming compared to ours. Well, we're going to close our borders. Yes, absolutely. But we're not going to insult them, and we're not going to declare war with them. The Dar Nexus, I think we can't form a defensive pact, because they are wary towards us. Perhaps a trade deal. Let's give them some communications. I know we've done that before, but that was before we met the Zaplo Annihilators. Okay. Yes, they're happy with that.
System survey complete.
The Ulium system has been fully surveyed. Right. Where's that? Over here. Good. Let's go in there.
Construction complete.
Good. Asteroid fauna. Amazingly, while conducting their survey of M4863, the crew of the UNHS Darwin picked up several life signs coming from within the asteroid. There appears to be a colony of large, burrowing worm-like lithivores within the rock, which has been riddled with tunnels. These unique life forms have somehow adapted to life in the coldness of space. These creatures should be studied. This adds +3 society to that asteroid. Okay. Basically, our only hope is that we can fortify this system enough that the fleets bounce off it until we can develop a fleet strong enough to take the fight to them. But also, terrifyingly, they're up here as well. Asteroid Listening Post. A small Irasian military listening post has been built into a hollowed-out portion of this asteroid's interior. It is equipped with an array of powerful sensors that seem to be aimed towards neighbouring systems. None of them are functional, and the asteroid appears to have been gone over and looked at least once by another party. Interesting.
Situation log updated.
Okay. So again, we'll research that project once we're finished with the systems. That's 5 of the 6 we need. So as I was saying, we need to block them off here as well. This is going to be a real issue. Because we've only got 20 fleet strength, so we're either going to have to go over that naval cap and damage our economy, or hopefully, if we can get these upgraded quickly enough. It's not looking good, I'm going to be honest.
Construction complete.
Right. Next one. Ooh, an odd factor. A group of investigators have found a hidden factory on Elysia. The building in its state of decay tells of an old civilization, one that excelled at constructing things that stood the test of time. Our population would easily be able to use the facility to add to the colony's production output. Intriguing. Okay, so what does that do? Elysia. Odd factory. +1 worker job. A well-crafted facility that produces high-value resources left on the planet by a different civilization. Fair enough. Okay, and why have we got an unemployed? Specialist unemployment 1. Huh, interesting. Okay. I wonder where they've come from. Right. Buildings. Crew quarters and a gun battery. Crew quarters so we can station the fleet there and it won't provide a drain on our resources, or an excessive drain on our resources. And the gun battery is so that we can try and fight off this Zaplo annihilators. Speaking of which, Cytharian refugees arrive. A battered fleet of small civilian vessels carrying Cytharians fleeing from the Zaplo annihilators have arrived in our space. After we supplied them with food and provided medical attention to their wounded, the refugees were allowed to settle on Earth. These ragged and frightened refugees are survivors from the extermination program being carried out by the Zaplo authorities against their species. They only made it out thanks to the efforts of a hastily organised underground railroad and a few sympathetic merchant skippers. They are welcome here. Right, let's have a look. Cytharians. So there's 1 specialist unemployment on Earth as well now. Very interesting. Population 7. I think what we'll do is we will put in another generator district and another city district on Earth, just to try and keep our energy credits afloat. Cytharians. 1 of those pops, and we've got full citizenship. Let's see, they are non-adaptive. They're deviants. It's fine, they'll fit in well with us. Communal, again, fits in well with us. Charismatic, that's good. And ingenious, energy credits from jobs plus 15%, and they like the continent as well. So that's good. They'll hopefully fit in nicely. That is, if we can stay alive.
System survey complete.
Okay, they're going to go and research the mining base.
Anomaly found.
Ah, a colossal impact crater on Iriamun 1A hints that something big collided with the surface of this moon once. Let's find out what it was. Okay. Let's see. So I've been timing this episode so as not to do what I did last time and suddenly realise that I've been recording for 2 hours instead of 1. No reports of any problems have been issued from the odd factory on Elysia. It seems like the colony will maintain the projected production estimates. Good, good. Okay. So,
system survey complete.
The challenge here then is to try and ensure that we can block them here as well. FTL impact. A massive crater on Iriamon 1A appears to be the result of a collision with a starship. From the size of the crater, we suspect that a ship exiting a hyperlane at maximum velocity rammed the moon for reasons unknown roughly 10,000 years ago. The UNHS Noble has picked up residual subspace echoes near the crash site, reminiscent of a collapsed hyperparticulate field, but as the ship itself disintegrated on impact, the theory cannot be verified. Remarkable. Gains some physics research. Yeah, so we're going to take the Equinox and survey this system, and we're going to get the Pacific to go and build up there as well, so that we can attempt to block the Zaplo annihilators. They haven't declared war on us yet, but I'm expecting it any minute, really. Okay, we're going to upgrade them now, and we're going to make their home base Rivac Station. Now then, I'm really not concerned about this border at all.
Ships upgraded.
Good.
Special project complete.
After investigating the boreholes in Duraka 7, our archaeologists found the fossilised remains of over 100 Jurassian miners at the bottom of one of them. They appear to be more victims of the Javorian pox that brought about the fall of the Concordat. In a futile attempt to keep the disease from spreading, their comrades dumped the bodies down one of the boreholes before the planet was evacuated. An interesting find. So, where are we now with that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the listening post is the next one, and then we need one more artifact, and we'll know where they lived. We'll know where they came from. Right. Passive, survey that system.
System survey complete.
Iriamon has been surveyed. Excellent.
System survey complete.
What was that one? The red ore system. Okay, good. Now they are, I think. Yes, they're looking at the asteroid listening post. I seem to remember right way back at the beginning of this, way back when I started this Let's Play, I said something to the effect of that I didn't want, was hoping not to be next
Construction
to
complete.
anything like this, and of course we are. Standard.
Research complete.
Right, what have we researched? Improved deflectors. Excellent. So now we can look at some other things. We can have level 2 point defense. That would be good for our picket ships. Level 3 lasers or level 3 shields. Level 3 lasers is the quickest to research, and will lead to further advancements in the field of energy weapons, so I think we'll do that. And also, we will upgrade our ships. I'm going to put reactor boosters on them as well, because I have a feeling that we're going to need it. We need every edge we can get. You can see why their fleet power is overwhelming as well, given the size of their empire, and that really is an empire. Okay, point defense, heavy. I give them very basic names because otherwise I find I get confused as to what they are when I'm trying to build them. I did originally come up with all sorts of cool class names, but remembering what each class was equipped with just became impossible. Whoops. Zoomed out a bit farther. Okay. So we're going to upgrade the first fleet again. And
ships upgraded.
Oh, our alloys have gone up as well. I wonder why that is. I think that must be because I wonder if Revac's got alloys on. No. Ambor maybe? Strange, I'm not complaining. Just didn't realise that was going to happen. Okay, so we can have 6 defence platforms. They're very expensive though. So that's not something we're going to be able to produce soon. Let's have a look. So the station itself is strength of 771 and the fleet is 571, so this is tiny. We really need to increase the size of the fleet and then get another fleet, and we need to do that soon.
Anomaly found.
The asteroid P1094 is emitting some form of radiation in controlled bursts. Is someone or something trying to communicate with us? Research. Okay, so if you look here, it's fairly clear that the Zaplo annihilators, if we wanted to properly cut them off, we'd have had to take Rundor or Boro Baba, which we haven't been able to do. So what is probably going to happen is we're going to find a choke point here, this one, and block off that, and then hopefully I can find a choke point up here, I think maybe one of these star systems, and block that off. It's going to be risky and it's going to be very touch and go, I think.
Special project complete.
More refugees. We have learnt the Irasians used the listening post on asteroid DTLF-37 to spy and plan attacks on neighbouring civilizations during the expansionist phase of their empire. These attacks met with dramatic success, and the Irasians soon became the dominant power in this section of the galaxy. By the time they were decimated by the Javorian pox, this listening post had long since been abandoned by the Irasian military. An interesting find. And then more refugees arrived on Eden. Okay. So let's survey that system. And quickly go to Eden. So 3 more pop and we'll be able to get that building slot unlocked.
Anomaly found.
A small rectangular object on the surface of Bonos 2A is deflecting all scanning beams like a mirror. Our sensors are unable to determine its material composition. Let's find out why. Boris is over there, so it's not going to be anything to do with the Irasians, sadly. Gravity Crush. The UNHS's Equinox's survey of the asteroid is temporarily halted as a probe is caught by an errant gravitational anomaly. The probe manages to transmit some data before it is brutally crushed by the extreme forces that completely dissipate soon after. At least no one got hurt, and Soletta gained some experience, and we got quite a bit of physics research, so that's good. Right.
System survey complete.
Alien
Anomaly
neural.
found.
While conducting surface scans of Bonos 2A, Science Officer Anne Liu and the crew of the UNHS Noble discovered what appears to be an artificially carved slab of rock covered in alien writing. They have not detected any other signs of alien activity on the Moon, and exactly how this mural came to be here is a mystery. We have prepared a special project to translate the text. Fascinating.
Situation log updated.
Anomaly. Starmag 3. The mineral composition of Starmag 3 does not match projections. Find out why. Translate alien mural. And again, as soon as they've finished surveying that system, which they've nearly done, they'll go and do the mural. Right, the Darwin has completed its research at Corinth, and I'm going to send it down this way to survey that system there.
Research complete.
The reason for that, by the way, is because once I've put a starbase and outpost there, I'm going to get the Equinox to go this way to try and find that other choke point. So I'm not particularly interested in having the Darwin go that way either, because it'd be a waste of resources. Ovary research. Starbase capacity +2. Excellent. That means that we can actually build enough to sort of create a border. Fleet command limit +20. That's probably useful. Terraforming gases. Naval capacity from soldier jobs. Planetary capital. Right. I'm tempted by this one, but in all honesty, because the naval capacity is so small, it's not really particularly important right now. Because we can have, if we increase the naval capacity, we can just have another fleet. Naval capacity from soldier jobs, that will be useful. So we're going to go for this one. Ground defence planning.
System survey complete.
And Bonos has been fully surveyed, and it is now looking at translating the alien mural. Okay. More refugees. on Earth. Across the barren fields of Starmag 3 there are indications of old battles being fought. Beneath the lifeless ground, our researchers on the Cortez have found bones, metallic shards, and most surprisingly a container filled with documents. If we send the documents to our homeworld for translation, we could potentially learn more about this war and who fought in it. It would also be possible to simply sell them off as antiques. Oh, I don't want to sell them off. Ridiculous. Translate them.
Situation log updated.
However, that will put on hold our society research, which we don't want. So we're going to just sit on that for a bit. It's not going to go away, there's no time limit. We'll just leave it for the moment. What's our population? We've got 3 pops of Cytharians now. One more and we'll be able to put a building in. We'll put some more research labs down. There we go. Let's see. Yes, we'll have more research labs. Or will we? Actually, no, we'll put in the alloy foundries. Because we need alloys.
Anomaly found.
Starmag 1. An ancient orbital shipyard drifts in silence above this world. It has suffered significant battle damage and entire sections of the facility are missing. That's definitely something to have a look at. With any luck, it'll be Irasian. I doubt it, but there's a lot of trade here and here.
Special project complete.
Science officer Arn Lu has managed to partially translate the alien mural discovered on Bonos 2A. The text contains a staggering amount of data, and the mural evidently serves as some sort of low-tech library. It describes, in broad terms, the collected technological knowledge of an alien civilization that dominated this region of the galaxy some 80 million years ago. A lot of it is already known to us, but the data does contain several promising leads for technologies we had yet to consider. There is enough data here to keep our scientists busy for decades, but we will need an orbital research facility to continue the translation efforts. Intriguing. This adds +2 society, engineering and physics research to Bonos 2A, and we gain 200 experience for Arn Lu. Right. Let's go over there.
System survey complete.
Good. Build starbase. That took a lot of influence, but it's important. And we're going to get the Equinox to go and do that exploration. While conducting their survey of Starmag 1, the Cortez detected the remains of an automated shipyard in orbit. It is at least 1,000 years old and seems to have been subjected to a heavy missile barrage, but one of its manufacturing bays is still in working condition. Science Officer Zhao is confident power can be restored to the shipyard, but it would be a significant project.
Situation log updated.
I think that's probably worth doing. Repair automated shipyard in Starmag. We need a construction ship. Luckily enough, we have a construction ship just here. So let's go and send them to do that. Could have used that one, but I think actually what we're going to do with this one is move it to Ublion. And that way, if necessary, we can begin expanding, or when necessary rather, we can begin expanding here. I should really put something on here, but I'm not pretty confident no civilization as yet has the technology to put gates in things. More refugees. Still more. 4 Cytharian and 2 Giroid now. Right, and Eden has finished its queue. We've got 2 districts plus another 3. 27 housing ones, so let's put those 2 down, 2 mining districts down. And Elysia is still building away, that's going to take a while. Population of 3. Right. A battered fleet of civilian vessels carrying Bessedon, don't know who they are, fleeing from the Zaplo Annihilators have arrived in our space. After we supplied them with food and provided medical attention to their wounded, the refugees were allowed to settle on Earth. They made it out the same way the others did. They are welcome here. Who are the Bessedon? Well, these are interesting people. Reptilian, full citizenship. So they prefer tundra, but they're communal and they live for quite some time. So leader lifespan is 20 years. And they came from Bradham too. Ah. That's over there, isn't it? So the Bessedon, there must have been another civilization there. Another one here. And that's where the Zaplo came from. So the Zaplo are clearly the biggest threat. I'd love to forge a defensive pact with the Dar Nexus, but they're just not interested. So that's disappointing. Never mind.
Research complete.
Starholds have been unlocked. Good. Right. Now, level 3 armour. Afterburners. Afterburners are very useful for corvettes because it increases their evasion. Synthetic crystals, also useful. All of these would be great. I'm going to go with the afterburners for the moment. Although I probably should go for the destroyers. This is actually a really difficult choice. No, I think we'll go for the afterburners because the majority of our fleet at the minute, obviously, in fact, our fleet is entirely corvettes, and that will be really handy for them.
Construction complete.
Okay, good. So we've now got our blocker system set up here, and we want to turn this again into a starport. Now we can upgrade these to starholds, but it costs a lot of alloy, which we just don't have. Survey completed. Through our surveys of habitable worlds, our biologists have collected a vast amount of data on alien life forms. Many of our older theories on the development of life have been disproved, and our scientific community has had to build new models from scratch. Our most interesting findings are being displayed at the newly dedicated Museum of Exobiology on Earth. The public is enthralled, and many donations have come in to aid the continued search for strange life forms. Excellent. It gains 500 society research, we get 500 energy credits, and it ends the event chain that we had. So that's good. Right. Ah, that's interesting. Look, there's no choke point here at all. That's just a little offshoot. Amazing. Okay. So that means that we need to get the noble to go around that way. So once the noble's finished in Rasnum, we'll ask it to travel to here. And meanwhile we'll get the Equinox to just survey these 3 systems. And then Bitkut. Right. Let's see.
Anomaly found.
Optical sensors indicate a cluster of shapes on the barren surface of Rasnum 2 that could be buildings. Okay, let's check, make sure they are. Right.
System survey complete.
Good, good. Go over there.
Construction complete.
Construction complete. What have we built on Earth? Another alloy foundry. Okay. Still got some unemployment, but it's not the end of the world because of our social welfare system. Eden is suffering the same issues with amenities that Earth had.
Construction complete.
Okay. Well, oh, look, that's a tundra world, so we can now settle the tundra world with our new friends, the Bessedon. Now, this has a lot of trade, and so does here and here. I'm going to have this engineering fleet just sit there for the time being. I am, however, going to have them enter orbit. There we go. So they don't look as though they're idle. Okay. What are we looking
System
at now?
survey complete.
Ha, score on that's been completed.
Construction
too.
complete.
And what have we constructed? Mintaka's starbase. Okay, again, shipyard, gun battery, crew quarters. And this is just because it will provide a tripwire for the Zappler. Unusual tectonics. What the Noble found on Resonum 2 were not buildings, but surprisingly regular mineral outcroppings. Arn Lu asserts these angular blocks of rock are the product of interactions between tectonic plates. Their shapes are the result of the unusual tectonophysics inherent in the planet's crust. The perfect angularity of these thrust faults implies the possibility of aliens tampering with Resonum 2's crust at some point in the past. Most intriguing. Adds engineering and physics research to Resonum 2. And then it's going to... Arndu is going to shoot off over there to try and find the choke point.
Construction complete.
That will enable us to stop the Zappler
Anomaly
from
found.
coming around the north, the rim of the galaxy. There are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this habitable world. Excellent. Good. That's our 6th one. Where's Hark? Down here. Superb. Okay, so after that, we'll be able to find the Arassian homeworld. Meanwhile, we've got
Anomaly
Colorado
found.
trying to repair the shipyard. There appears to be deliberately crafted structures on the planet's surface, pointing towards a past long forgotten. Well, let's have a look at that. I did say last episode that I thought there might be combat in this one, and there hasn't been. I'm quite glad about that, because these Zaplo are so powerful compared to us at the moment that I really don't want to fight them for some time yet. The planet, Sehuvis 2, is a toxic wasteland, but our scans unveil it has not always been so. A now extinct civilization seems to have destroyed its home planet via a heavy reliance on climate-altering fuels and toxins. On a remote hill close to a major city, we have found a lone active facility, a robot assembly plant, desolated and surrounded by military vehicles, so deteriorated they break upon touch. The facility is alien and mysterious, but could provide us with ample study material, a cautionary tale. So we get an Empire Edict, and we have the Fallen Robotic Society modifier, +6 engineering. Over here.
System survey complete.
Okay, good. Off you go.
Research complete.
What have we researched? Ground defence planning. Excellent. Naval capacity from soldier jobs, +2 per soldier job. Defence army damage, +33%. There are many alien empires, well, one, who would gladly seize our worlds for themselves. We must be prepared for the Zaplo should the worst come to pass. Fleet support doctrine, +30 naval capacity. Yes, absolutely. It would normally be a toss-up between these two, but because of the Zaplo right on our doorstep, we want the ability to have more ships. That will effectively allow us to have 2 fleets, one here and one here.
Special project complete.
The Colorado has successfully restored power to the automated shipyard over Starmag 1. The facility immediately resumed its interrupted construction order, using what materials it had on hand to build 3 advanced raiders of an unknown design. Unfortunately, the ancient facility broke down completely afterwards and has been deemed beyond repair. We have sent crews to the new ships and commissioned them into our fleet. Excellent. That is excellent. They are the new ships, and we're going to give them a new admiral. Ah, now this is my favourite trait for any military officer. Ship upkeep -10%. Logistician. Yep. Congratulations, Admiral de Savoia. You are now in command of the 2nd Fleet. Let's have a look at our new ships. So these are well in advance of anything that we have. They've got the same level of shielding and armour, but their guns are... well, I say well advanced, their guns are about the same. The laser's a bit more advanced than we are. What they have got is they've got better fusion reactor, better sensors, better thrusters, and better hyperdrive. So we're going to take the 2nd Fleet and we're going to put it on Mintaka, and that is in fact going to be its home base. As for the Colorado, let's take the Colorado and put it in Procyon. No, sorry, in Aurum. So we can start building out this way.
System survey complete.
Right, Equinox can now go back up to Kephoth and survey that. Okay. Eden, very close to getting some buildings, very close. And Elysia, again, also very close.
System survey complete.
Which system is that? HDG. Okay. I'm not hugely concerned about the Zaplo coming around this way, because obviously there's no link for some time.
Anomaly found.
There is a link, however, with the DAR, so I want to find a choke point here. It's probably going to be this system, or potentially this system. Anomaly. CP01T668668. The material composition of this asteroid differs significantly from its neighbours. It likely has a different origin than the other bodies of this asteroid belt, and should be investigated more closely. Well, let's do that. The refugees appear to have stopped coming as well, so I think 4 Cytharian, 2 Gyroid and 1 Bessedon is all we're going to get. Poor beggars. That's so scary, looking at that. Asteroid fossils. Fossils from what appear to be several species of aquatic animals have been found on the barren and airless surface of CP01T668. There are indications the surrounding asteroid belt was created from the remains of a shattered planet, and these findings seem to confirm that theory. Judging by the fossils, the planet supported life and was at least partially covered by water. Fascinating. 150 Society research. Actually, thinking about choke points, let's get the Colorado moving back there. Keller has leveled up, and we're running low on food. Okay. So, Eden... Let's see, what have we got on Eden? What could we build? Really, we need to resolve the immunity issue. So what we'll do is we'll build some gene clinics, and we'll upgrade the planetary administration. Well, the reassembled ship shelter to planetary administration. Not immediately helpful in the grand scheme of things, but it will be helpful in the long run. Faction founded. A new faction has been gaining traction. Led by scientist Antonio Saletta, they call themselves the First Strike Legion. So a pacifist scientist then. Their members have been pushing hard for us to assert our military dominance over the rest of the galaxy. Well, I mean, they're allowed to say stuff like that, but I don't think it really is in keeping with our concept of society. On the other hand, the Zaplo Annihilators are probably making people think a little bit differently nowadays. Okay. Oh, and we've had some more refugees. So, some others have managed to get out. Let's have a look at the First Strike Legion. What do they want? Aggressive diplomacy. Failing to allow for offensive warfare. Well, that's fine. We do that. Imperial hegemony. No, we don't want to ever do that. Local rival. The only people we could rival theoretically are the Zaplo, and I don't want to do that because it will encourage them to fight us. And conquest, conquering alien planets. So I think they're just going to have to be disappointed for the time being. Well, that's an interesting turn of events. And some more refugees, Cytharians this time.
Anomaly found.
We briefly detected unusual energy readings emanating from this moon, Kephoth 1A. It might have been a glitch in our systems, or it could be a sign of something more. As you can see, we've slowly built up a store of about 600 alloy. Bunkerbot. We have traced the unusual electromagnetic radiation emanating from Kephoth 1A to a secret subterranean bunker hiding a megacomputer the size of a battleship. Our researchers suspect it may have been there for several thousand years, hard at work solving a single, very complex problem, the nature of which still eludes us. When the crew attempted to interact with the computer, they discovered that the facility, which had appeared both abandoned and unguarded, was in fact operated by a security AI, the highest purpose of which seems to be frying its visitors alive. As the crew defeated the AI, it broadcast a message to an unknown recipient. So we've got some options. We could scrap it for parts, which would give us 50 motes, 50 rare crystals and 100 alloy. Boost our research, which would give us a decade's worth of plus 10% monthly engineering research. Or let it continue the mysterious calculations. I think we're going to go and do that, because 200 influence will be really helpful when it comes to building choke points.
Construction complete.
Mintaka starbase is complete now. Okay, that's fine.
Research complete.
What have we researched? Afterburners. Good, we can upgrade things. Railguns, basic strike craft, exotic gas refineries. Right, strike craft aren't particularly great in this game at the moment, unfortunately, which is a shame because I really like the idea of strike craft. And in any case, we can get access to better strike craft equivalents through society. So I think we'll go for the railguns at the moment. And I'll just quickly zip into the ship designer and put afterburners on our... oh dear. It's going to be an issue, isn't it? Because we don't have the power generator to cope with that at the moment. At least not on the E class. The K class might be a bit different. Nope. Okay. Probably means none of them are going to be able to take it. No. Okay. Right. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to add the afterburners until we've developed better reactors, which I think is physics. So, with any luck, when this completes, we'll be able to get a fusion reactor or a fission reactor or something. Cold fusion, whatever the next level is.
System survey complete.
I'm going to call it a day for this episode. Wait until the next save game thing comes up, and then we'll I'll quit.
Anomaly found.
Oh, what's this? A vessel of some kind has crashed into the surface of J999U46. Wreckage from the craft can still be found within the impact crater. Let's have a look at the wreckage. Yeah, so once it saves, I will, end this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed it. There we go. Right. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, in which we discovered these Aplo Annihilators, successfully managed to avoid a war with them in the short term, and are in the process of rapidly building up our military fleet and military technologies, which isn't the direction I really wanted to take this playthrough. I wanted to really go for quite a sort of pacifist style of playthrough, very diplomatic, very focused on sort of, being a force for good, genuine force for good, but I think we're going to be forced into a war reasonably soon. I am pleased, however, that we've been able to harbour currently 10 pops worth of refugees from the Zaplo. I think that's a really good thing that we've done. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. Do let your friends know. If you know anybody else that might be interested in Stellaris, point them my way. And as always, if you've got any comments, do leave them below in the comments. I always read them, I always reply to them, and I would like to start up some conversations with you. Please do let me know if you've got any ideas for ways I can make my defence platforms better, things like that. And I shall see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.